Remember everybody, 37s, so deep. If you venture off the beaten path, the unexpected will happen. American Expedition Vehicles is known for its incredible off-road vehicles and parts, but also sells the highest quality recovery gear in the industry. Join us on an epic snow run in the Cascade Mountains, where we put the gear to the test. We thought we might have to stage some vehicle recoveries, but don't worry, the trail took care of that for us. Camp is right over there.
Do we have one more shackle? Okay, good.
Boom.
You're looking good, boys.
The first thing to do before any snow run is air down your tires. If you have AEV's recovery kit, we've got you covered.
People are always looking for a new way to air down their tires, faster way in particular. For me, over the last 25 years, I've always preferred to use a core puller style tire deflator. This is AEV's version of it here, and I'm going to give you a demonstration of how it works. But in general, I'd say it cuts your air down times in half. A lot less time having to get down on your knees near the tire there. More time on the trail. When you screw it onto the valve stem there, you're actually able to screw in, engage the valve core, extract it, and then get full flow through that valve stem, which speeds up the airing down process quite a bit. You'll kind of feel it click. You kind of feel it actually resonating right through the shaft there. And you just pull it back, and you open the valve. You can just watch the drop right here on the gauge, and then you just regulate the on and off of airflow just like that. You can hear the volume of air coming out there. It's pretty dramatic. So once we've shut it off, we just reverse the process, screw the valve core back in so it's tight, disengage, and then unthread the main body, and you're good to go.
At the base of the ridge, the trail looked deceivingly mild. Soon we discovered that the tracks were made of numerous layers of compact snow and ice, but in the middle and directly to the sides were 2 feet or more of powder. And deviation of a few inches to either side, and the Jeeps would be sunk to the frame. Well, me being the awesome off-roader that I am the first person on this trip to get stuck. While this guy starts digging himself out, let's break down the AEV recovery gear kits each Jeep in the group was carrying. You can choose between the Trail Recovery Kit or the full Expedition Kit. The Trail Kit includes a 30-foot Kinetic recovery strap, a winch extension strap, a 10-foot tree strap, a snatch block, 2 3/4-inch anchor shackles, a tire deflator, gloves, and a premium recovery bag. The Expedition Kit is more comprehensive and adds extras to facilitate advanced recovery techniques. You get a 30-foot Kinetic recovery rope instead of a strap, a winch extension rope instead of a strap, the extremely versatile 10-foot utility rope, a 10-foot tree strap, snatch block, 2 anchor shackles, 2 soft shackles, and the same tire deflator, gloves, and bag. Regardless of which kit you have, all of AEV's equipment is thoroughly tested, primarily made in the USA or Canada, from premium materials, and features clearly labeled working load limits and minimum braking strength ratings. Much of the cheap overseas gear you find online does not test or label their equipment properly, leading to potentially deadly consequences.
What are you doing way over there?
I don't know.
Oh man, we'll get you out.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I find that one of the biggest problems with recovery when I travel with people who maybe haven't done a lot of recovery is they get in a big hurry and they don't always take the time to really evaluate what's holding up the vehicle and then make a plan. So in this case, it's pretty obvious. We've got a lot of snow here in front of the tires. We want to take the stress out of the recovery so this vehicle can naturally roll forward. Well, that's going to require some hard work on our part to start digging, but believe me, it's well worth it. So initially what we're going to do is break out 2 ropes. We're going to go ahead and use our dynamic recovery rope. So this is a rope that is elastic in nature. It's 100% nylon, and it has the ability to stretch up to 30% beyond its resting length. So it makes a great buffer between the vehicle that's moving out ahead and the vehicle that's still in a fixed position. 2 vehicles up ahead, and we're going to do what we call a mule team. So we're going to tie them together, and then we're going to do a gentle pull with those 2. But if we're lucky, we may be able to do this whole recovery without having having to put much force into it. We need to try to pull this vehicle back onto the road as it goes forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie into the passenger side here, run cross trail with the rope to the driver's side of the tow vehicles. We just want to influence some motion like this towards the middle of the road.
We were back on the move, but it would be less than a mile before we had a new recovery to tackle.
So basically what's happened here is the vehicle has slid off into the drift on the side here. We've got a choice. We can either try to winch forward or we can pull the vehicle backward. To go forward would mean a lot of shoveling right here, but also evaluating the general health of the trees that you see around us here. A lot of these trees look pretty fragile. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to shovel from the back, pull the vehicle out in reverse. To do that, we're going to have to dead man the vehicle that's doing the winching, because odds are if we don't dead man the vehicle doing the winching, he'll simply slide forward right towards me once he lights up the winch. We could have used a single line winch pull on this particular recovery, but I'm a big fan of getting as much cable off the drum as possible and basically doubling the power of the winch.
The utility rope, that is a static rope, right?
That's correct. It's made out of Dyneema. It basically behaves like steel fiber, so it does not stretch. But if you haven't added a short utility rope like this into your kit, you're missing one of the most useful tools you can have in there. We use this in lieu of chain. We can use it to wrap around logs, chassis, axle, all kinds of various things. Or we can use it, like you see here, as a link between the two vehicles for a dead man. Whenever you go to break out a winch, people have to appreciate you're playing around with a tremendous amount of pulling power. So safety has to be a top priority. Now what you'll see Steve doing here is he's got his remote control in hand, but it's turned around backwards. This is something we teach in our programs because if I have to go in and handle cable anywhere around here, I want to be sure that cable's not going to get drawn in unexpectedly when the winch is lit up. So we keep the switch turned around backwards where we know it's not going to get activated. And if I had to go in and work on the drum, Steve would actually see me use a cymbal that looks like this. Even if he can't hear my voice telling him I'm going to work on the cable, he can see it and know that we definitely want to have that remote turned around. He won't turn it around the other direction till we've got all the rigging done and we're ready to actually light up this recovery.
We trimmed the dead tree and headed onward towards our campsite at the top of the ridge. The guy in the Sarge Green Jeep got stuck again, but with some shoveling and traction boards, we were back on the move quickly. Until we came upon a treacherous spot where Steve in the Red 392 slid into very deep trenches, likely made from a previous vehicle and then covered by newer snow. Our point man Chris was also having troubles of his own. It was determined we'd need to dig the 392 out and winch backwards using the AEV snatch block. The Sarge Green Jeep would be the dead man, and we'd need to use 4 traction boards.
Well, it's pretty interesting because there's like these perfect frozen troughs that have been packed and refrozen.
I was in them.
And then you just, if you just go like this, you can literally feel where it breaks off.
It will beat you down.
It's probably bust out okay because I was.
After an hour of digging and failed attempts, the 392 was out. We laid down traction boards, and each vehicle took turns getting a run at this nasty spot. Hey, you made a nice highway there, Chris.
Look at that, baby.
Sunset was fast approaching as we were a quarter mile from the top of the ridge, but the trail was getting steeper and icier. Chris was stuck again, but this time there was an excellent tree to use for the recovery. Always happens when you're almost at camp, right?
Yes, we're definitely working for it. Yeah, we're gonna do a tree strap. We're gonna try a single line pull.
In order to have enough cable on the winch drum, it was determined we needed to utilize the winch extension rope for the single line pull. After rigging, it was apparent that the 30-foot winch extension rope was longer than needed for this scenario. Since the static utility rope is made from the same Dyneema fibers, we swapped it in for the winch extension rope, making the recovery easier and faster. The last few hundred feet to the campsite were not easy, but we were all going to make it as a team.
So one of the nice things about the AEV bumper is with that light bar down below, it gives you this really nice illumination on the rope from below.
Yeah,
so
good point.
when I'm working out here, I can see where the cable is laying. It's really brilliant. Just having that little opening right there in the bottom of the winch plate makes all the difference.
While too dark to see the beautiful view from camp, spirits were still high while we counted who got stuck the most that day. Leave your guesses down in the comments. The crew was in for a surprise the next morning.
I mean, we got up here last night and everything was nice and tranquil, you know.
Yep.
And then we started checking the forecast and it was showing 1 to 2 inches, but this morning we woke up, I think we're fast approaching about 5 inches.
Oh
so
boy.
We're gonna try to get on the trail a little sooner and get the last shots we need on the way down. And you know, if it's gonna get a lot deeper, we don't want to be messing around with it too much.
For sure.
We're pretty far in.
All right, we are indeed. I took the pressure off you guys. You know, you don't have to worry about who's going to be first. I'll just do it. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Haven't got stuck yet?
No, not yet.
Oh my God.
Today's a new day though, so
Yeah,
we'll see what
it
happens,
is.
right?
So this was a very innocent slide, went into the powder once again. We've now broken out the shovels, we've excavated around the tires, and we've been particularly careful to clear snow away from the axle. Now we're not going to do a yank. We're going to once again do a mule team arrangement with 2 vehicles pulling, both strapped together. We're going to try a very gentle extraction. This time we're actually going to use a recovery strap. The difference is really just that with the rope it has about 30% stretch potential. This one has about 20, but for the way we're going to use it right now, that'll be more than enough.
This 2-day expedition demonstrated the importance of recovery gear that can be relied on. To purchase your own, visit aevconversions.com. Subscribe and watch this adventure video next.